Hello, hello, good evening. Hopefully you all can hear me as you're coming through. We've got Dexter, Joel, Renata, Kyle, and Wade as well. Pleasure to see you, Wade. Obviously had a pleasure at speaking with you this week as well. Just to open the session up, just for the first few minutes of more people just popping into the room now, just if you all can open up your chat section just at the bottom of the screen for me. Just got a few more people entering in and then we'll get underway with it all. Beautiful. And if you can just pop a quick Y in the chat, just let me know that the recording and the voice is all good as well. Thanks, Joel, Dexter. Kyle's all good. I'm just waiting for a few more and then we'll get underway. How's everybody's day? Let's drop a word in the chat section. How's your day been today? The year is flying. Cruisy. Don't mind a day like that, to be honest, Joel. That would be nice. Kyle's had a brilliant day. Wade is all good. And we should be pretty good. All right, so we've only got 30 minutes this evening, so we'll make it very, very efficient. For the people that I've not had the pleasure to speak with before, my name's Chris Blackburn. My role here at Service.com.au is one of the senior account managers. So if everybody can grab a pen and paper, I want to make this session as interactive. Tyler's had a very efficient day, which is awesome as well. But yeah, I want to make this a really interactive and for you guys to take as much away as you can to implement in your business as well. Over the next 29 minutes or so, what we're going to run through is a simple 5-step process to make sure, as I'm sure most of you guys on the session this evening are currently using platforms or maybe using ourselves. We've just got Stephen dropping in now as well. To obtain more inquiries and naturally build your business and take more clients in to your company as well. So today I just want to make sure we're answering your questions as well. For anybody that hasn't had the pleasure to work with Service.com.au before, a bit of background on who we are as an organization. So 10 years this month we've been in business. I've had the pleasure to work with the business for over 4 of them as well. As a company, we're based here in the beautiful Gold Coast. You can probably tell from my accent, I'm from the UK. So been here for 9 years myself. And yeah, this country gets better on better. So yeah, for the last 10 years, we've managed to support over 40,000 trades and service providers, promote their business online, get more work coming into their business and ultimately grow their company with more revenue. We receive over 120,000 users every single month coming to our platform. So the purpose of this session today is just to make sure that we're following the practical steps and the proven methodology essentially to make sure that these inquiries of customers that are interested at hiring an electrician, a plumber, a builder, a carpenter, that we're following the steps as a business to make sure that we're providing the service, but we're also making sure that we're communicating effectively to the consumer coming through into the business. Now, I've been doing it a little while. I've had the pleasure to work in sales that not many people like to call themselves a salesperson for the last 15 years across, the UK, America, and now in Australia for the last 9 years as well. So had the opportunity to work with many different industries. So hopefully we can share a few practical tips today that you guys can go away, implement immediately and ultimately convert more of your leads. So if everybody's ready, just a quick Y in the chat and we will get this underway. Joel's ready to go. What I want to try and do is provide some concepts to the business as well. If you could also just drop in your location and also your industry as well. Let's see whether we can make sure we provide it as tailored as we possibly can. So we've got Joel, who's on the Gold Coast as well. So you know how beautiful this place is, mate. The weather at the minute is not phenomenal. It feels like I'm back in the UK, to be honest, but there we go. So on Southport, we've got, Wade, pleasure to be obviously working with yourself, mate, moving forward as our drafting specialist. We've got Renata, who does cleaning as well. Is that residential or commercial, Renata? If you can just drop that in for me as well. And I'm also assuming that majority of you guys are using platforms, either, ourselves or maybe other platforms out there to promote your business and get more inquiries coming through. So what I want to do is run through these 5 steps. So if you do have your pen handy, the first one that we want to really hit home, and I guess this is what we see over, the businesses we work with, the things that work well and maybe the things that don't work as well. So the first one is the response time. Okay, so the response time. Quite clearly, we are going to be looking at responding to the customer as soon as possible. I'd love to see some examples of how long it actually takes your business. Honestly, we've got a carpenter in Melbourne as well. So if somebody's reaching out for a decking job, be honest, how long does it typically take you guys to respond to a notification or a potential job as well? Let's wait for a few. So as the answers start coming through as well, so the response times, they can certainly make or break the sale, in my opinion. I know with anything I ever do is always putting myself in the customer's shoes. So pretty quick, majority of calls. Beautiful. So that's the first thing we'd recommend, Joel, if everybody's taking notes as well. Respond to the method that the customer has firstly reached out to yourself. So if you're using an app such as Service.com.au and you get that notification through to say, hey, we're looking for an electrical contractor to come out and provide an office fit out for all the electrical work. If you receive that message through the app, what we typically say is actually respond in the same method that the customer's reached out to yourself. And shortly we'll be running through how we're going to go through the responses as well. But speaking in the same language as the customer is exactly what we're looking for. Depends how busy the day is, but anywhere from 10 minutes to a few hours. Yeah. We'd say that's pretty good. I mean, the average response time for web leads is 17 hours, believe it or not, 17 hours. As a business owner, especially on the weekends, I got a lot of customers when they're inquiring quote on the weekend. Beautiful. So there'll be something coming up, Renata, very shortly that hopefully will be a great fit for yourself as well. But some statistics on that as well. 82% of customers that post jobs online actually what's the right word? So they expect actually a response within the first 10 minutes. That's where the customers' heads are at. So regarding the response time, we just need to make sure that we have all the correct criteria and everything that we need to be able to respond to the customer as effectively and as efficient as we possibly can as well. Apologies if I'm going at some pace as well. We are recording this session, but I really want to try and get through as much as we can. But as we would recommend, that if there's a quick response method or a quick response route, it's going to give you a higher probability of firstly converting that lead. Now, the big reason for that, obviously, if you take, let's say 12 hours to respond to a customer, that's 12 hours that your competitors and other businesses out there have the ability to introduce themselves, meet the client, speak with them directly, find out what they're looking for. And naturally, the first business that's going to contact them is going to be in a better probable outcome of converting the lead as well. Just a quick why in the chat, if that's sort of making sense. If there's any questions, fire them in as well. We've got the team on board as well, who's going to run through a couple of things as well. Okay, so the first thing and the first point, everybody's getting that. That's awesome. So the first thing we want to do is think about our response time. Okay, moving on to the second point. Okay, so once we've received it, amazing. We've got somebody that wants our services. They're in our area. They're a perfect client for us as well. Then what we're going to do is we're going to actually look at the inquiry. So the second point, that if there's one that I had to hammer home, this is the $1,000 point for me that you've really got to think about as well. And it's actually do not judge the lead. So do not judge the lead. We was literally speaking to a roofer maybe 2-3 weeks ago now as well, who's currently on our platform here at Service.com.au. He received a job that he serviced and it was worth $300, maybe in cash. I'm not too sure how that worked, but it was a $300 roofing job. It may have been a few, tiles to repaint or whatever it looked like as well. Now, I know with businesses, with let's say a plumber that comes out and you see a job and it's somebody posts on saying, I've got a leaky tap. Instantly you think that job is not worth my time. I'm not going to go out. I don't know why I'm possibly even receiving leads like that. Just to put this into a bit of context as well, that roofing job that was $300, the customer went out to service the client as well, did that good of a job the next day was referred to his brother-in-law, and it turned into a $175,000 commercial contract. So we'll leave that one sat there for literally a few seconds. So all I'd have to say is do not judge the lead. You guys in the industry, you're the expert, okay? Whether you're cleaning, whether you're electrical. Joel, mate, if you saw me on DIY or electrical, you'd understand why you're the expert as well. I'm not allowed to touch anything electrical as well. So if I post on a job thinking that I need, you know, a PowerPoint fixing, I'm not the expert in the industry. It may take Joel to come over and say, hey, mate, your PowerPoint definitely needs fixing, but there's this, and this, and this. But because he's come over, he's been personal, he's provided me as a, you know, an expert in the industry, I'm going to listen. So what I really want to make sure is that any inquiry comes through is an opportunity for your business for a new customer. Never assume that that leaky tap is not going to turn into a bathroom renovation or potentially a repeat and referral client of somebody else as well. Okay, so that's step number 2. Does that sort of make sense? And again, please, any questions on that second step on how to take that on? So we've got Wade, all good. Beautiful. Dexter's definitely been guilty of that as well. And we all can be as well. You know, we're busy business owners. We've got, you know, 30, 40 inquiries coming into the business every single day. We understand that we can be a little bit selective on that, but there is nuggets of gold inside your pipeline, inside your inquiries that you know, providing the right service and not assuming could really turn this you know, potential inquiry from a few $100s to a few $100,000 literally by just going over and, you know, meeting the customer. We're not saying you have to meet every single customer. We'll get there shortly. I'm going to cover on how we the $1 million word with the tire kicker, how we get them out of your pipeline, and we're dealing with the right customers. But once you are, take advantage of the opportunity and see how you can, you know, maximize that coming through. So we've just got a comment here as well from Tyler. So would you say make sure, regardless of the description of the job, to respond to find out more? Absolutely. I think sending the message, and again, this leads on to the next point as well. We have a habit of not responding to some due to little information, or think of them as just a time waster. Customers are at work. You know, people are busy. They may get a call from the partner and say, hey, the tap's leaking. They jump on a platform and they look for a plumber. They're just very quick at posting the job. That doesn't mean that tap, as an example, I know I keep going back to plumbing, but I've just been working with a few today, that tap may have been installed at the same time as 20 other in the property. Okay, so it may not be that one. Just again, going back to Tyler's point, I'd absolutely reply to the customer and just make sure you're following up effectively and see what that turns out to as well. Hopefully that kind of answers your question, Tyler, as well. But that leads on to the next point. So step number 3 is our response methods. No problem. So our response methods, as we've touched on, just making sure that we're responding in the same method that the customer's reached out to yourself, but really having to think of the content that's inside that response as well. So looking at the ways that we can do that, firstly is through the application or through a text message. We'd always say in sales, you know, speak to the customer. It's not what we say, it's how we say it, and it's the delivery of the content as well. And just making sure that we're doing our follow-up. Okay, so if you send out a quote, you know, within the first 10 minutes, ideally, as the customer comes through, if you don't hear a response straight away, don't believe that job's gone. Follow them up effectively at the end of the day, and make sure you've got that structure in your business to be able to contact that customer as well. Okay, so in regards with keeping the text very, very clean, we just want to make sure that firstly, you've got an answer machine. I know that sounds crazy just regarding a voicemail, but you know, the ones when it's like, hello? Yeah, I'm good. How are you? I'll leave a message. If you've got that, I'm so sorry, but if you've got that, please change it. That's got to be your first step. A professional voicemail from a business that people are reaching out to, just making sure that we've got all them steps in place. Okay. So regarding a template, what we want to make sure that we're getting in there, and if, again, for people taking notes, there's 3 things that people buy. And I'd love to know within the chat section if anybody can guess what people buy these days. the price. People. There we go. So people will buy typically three things. Okay. They're going to buy the individual, they're going to buy the company or the organization that they're looking to do business with, and then also the products and services that they offer. And if we're writing notes again, in that order, people buy people. So it's just making sure that if you're going to respond as a business to a full decking job that needs to be done at a property as well, by sending them a price of $6,500, and that's all that you put, $6,500, as opposed to a business, let's say, for example, Wade. Hi, my name's Wade. This is the business that I'm from. Just a little bit of introduction of who we are. We're a family-owned business. I've got 10 years worth of experience. We're fully insured. We're fully licensed. We've had the opportunity to work in the area for the last 25 years. We'd love the opportunity to come over, find out exactly what you're looking for, and make sure we provide you an accurate quote from there. Please find my contact number attached. If I don't hear from you, I'll be in touch within the next couple of hours when I get the opportunity after I've finished with my client, and I'd love to see if we can assist you moving forward. Just as an example, I can't write that because I don't really know what I said, but if that sort of makes sense, people will buy in that order. People will buy into the people. So we hear a lot that people are just price driven. If people are spending, as an example, back to Wade, for a drafting, people don't want to get their plans wrong. They don't want to have to go through the process of paying $1,500 for some drafting to find out that that's not going to fit their block, or it's not going to fit the project that they're going to do, and then have to pay, $3,500 for that. So it's our obligation as businesses to provide that service to the customer. And we are going to get shoppers. We understand that. You're going to get the people that go into Coles and they look for the yellow sticker and they want 2 for $5. We get all of that. But when you're looking to invest in a trade or service, people want high quality work. So what if you are a new business? Any tips on the blurb? Absolutely. It's the same thing, really, Stephen. That's a great point. So you can say in there, over the years experience that I have had as a ex-business or as a new company, we're here to provide an amazing service just to ensure that our name gets out there through repeat referral business as well. Please find a couple of reviews attached of some of our early projects that we've completed. But as mentioned, I'll be in touch with you just to make sure it is a job that we can service. And more importantly, if you're happy with our business moving forward. Just be real, I agree. I think as a new company, explaining the intent, you're welcome. Explaining the intent of a new business. Everybody's got to start somewhere. 10 years ago, we had to start with our first ever client as well. So we understand that there's new businesses out there, but I'm sure as a business, Stephen, you've got experience in the trade. You've been doing it for a long time. You're confident in the services that you offer as well. So I think any message that you can get into that, just remembering sell yourself first, sell the company, and then sell your products and the pricing from there. It's like us just contacting a business out of the blue and saying, hey, mate, it's $19.95 and it gives you 12 months worth of work. Does that sound good? There's no value attached to what we're actually offering as business, where if we introduce our business, we find out what type of work they do, what areas they service, how long they've been doing it for, what's their goals in the business. It gives us an opportunity then, if our product helps them, to be able to then present to the customer that they're looking for. But if you're just giving a price, that's all the customer's going to hang on to. And again, there's no value attached to that. You go into Flight Centre or wherever you go and you're looking on a holiday and they give you a 4-page document. The first thing you do is you look at the last page to see how much it is. So it's about looking at what's included with the price, whether it's $100 or $100,000. You just got to make sure that the value is attached to the investment that you're asking from the customer. So I hope that helps. Stephen, mate, just drop a Y in the chat if that does for the new business as well. And if there is any questions, there's a couple of the team on the platform now, so they'll be able to help you with any of that moving forward. So what follow-ups would you recommend, as I find sometimes it's getting hold of the customer after they inquire? Really great point, Tyler. So what I'd recommend on the follow-up, and that's going to be step 5 that we're going to go through as well, is looking at the different methods, just going back to that previous step as well. So the different methods on how we follow up. We've got text messages, we've got social media that we can connect with, we've got phone calls. I don't know the last time that anybody sent a voice message. That would be another one that I'd recommend. You know, if you've not been hearing back from the customer, a really quick voice message over 60 seconds, again, from a sales perspective, allows us the ability to put our tonality into that. You know, it is basically, sounds like the partner, but it's not what you say, it's how you're saying it. But it is actually true. You know, if you say the same words, it can have such a different meaning on the delivery. So to answer your question, Tyler, I'd look at the methodology and the way that you're responding to the customer, mix it up. Don't just do emails. You know what emails are like. I'd say 90% of emails go unread at the moment. So think of some ways, whether you've got a CRM system, whether you're texting, whether you're calling, voice messaging, whatever that typically looks like. And what I'd also say is look at the time as well. You know, if you're calling the customer at 9 o'clock every single day and they don't answer, then maybe try them after 5. So think of the time and think of the method, I'd say, that you're following up. Again, I hope that sort of helps and provides some content in there as well. No problem at all. So the fourth step then, we've kind of touched on it briefly, is the response content. Okay, so number 4 is the response content. So again, to paint the picture, a job comes through for an electrician that's requiring a switchboard upgrade. We have 2 different types of tradesmen or service providers. We have tradie A and we have tradie B. Okay, I'd love to know in the chat section when I finish this, which one of the one would you choose? So you've got tradie A who's looking for a switchboard upgrade. He responds with $3,500. You've got tradie B that then again introduces their name, their business, their licensing, their ABN, how long they've been doing it for, their guarantees, what sort of workmanship they offer, and their contact details and a follow-up message as well. Sounds crazy, but just so I can know, which one would you choose? I'm glad you picked B, Joel. If you picked A, I'd have been very worried. B, exactly. So what I would recommend is just a really quick practical tip if you've not done that, whether you've got a CRM, whether you're on your phone and you're sending the text messages or calls or however you're doing that, go away at the end of this session and create yourself 3 or 4 templates that you can use, or just drop an email out to support@service.com.au. So support@service.com.au if you do want some assistance on some different ways to message your clients as well. But have 3 or 4 templates that you can use. We know that the quicker that we can, thank you, Kyle, the quicker that we can respond to the customer, the better it is. But again, that'll only hinder you if you respond within the first 5 minutes with the price, as opposed to if you respond within the first 5 minutes with a really quick, 30 to 50 word message as well. And it'll save you time if you've already got them templates in there where you can just edit the customer's name. I'd recommend personalizing that a little bit, maybe on the job or the pictures that the customer's uploaded or something. Just find something personal to create that level of rapport with the customer as well. But yeah, just go away, create yourself 3 or 4 different templates that's going to sell you, the individual, your experience, your business, your new business, everything like that as well. The company, the organization, and then the products and services that you offer as well. If you can create 3 or 4 templates with all of that in there, then you should be pretty good to go from there. All righty. All right, so the 5th and final step, Tyler asked earlier as well. So it's around our follow-up and structure. Okay, so the follow-up and the structure. So we've touched a little bit on the follow-up, but again, what I'd recommend is the structure within the day. I know for us personally, we have the opportunity to work with, many great account managers as well. And we need to make sure that, for one, their structure's on point, but as leaders, our structures are on point as well. So we need to make sure that there's times in the day that we're spending with them individually as a group, and it's the same for the business as well. What I would typically do is maybe just block out an hour, if you don't already, of the time that you follow up with your jobs. Now, in an example in our app, what we'd have is we would have your new job, so you can see the full job description. You'll have the jobs that you've quoted on, and then you'll have your archive jobs, the ones that you may not have really wanted to take on board. So if you are using our platform or a platform, what I would recommend is spend an hour going through your sent quotes. It may take 2, 3, 4, 5 touch points in order to be able to potentially convert a lead. That's what we're working on now as well. 10% of the people that inquire are just your straight out buyers. They're the people that have just got this job, they're ready, they've got the card details, they're just ready, they just need somebody there and then. They're going to be your people that just walk into the store and just buy the product off the shelf. They are gold, okay? They're the people that we want to work with day in, day out as well. But let's live in a real world. They're not everywhere. Some people we need to work a little bit for. I understand we're very busy people as well, but going back to that previous roofing job, if he didn't provide the level of service, that $300 job would not have turned into hundreds of thousands of dollars for his business. So it always comes back on working with the people that are motivated to buy or motivated to hire a tradesperson. So you'll see that they'll say, hey, I need time to think about it, or can you pop it in an email or something like that as well. So just make sure we're following up with value. Make sure that when you're sending out a quote, even if it's a week later, hey, I just finished a job with one of my clients as well. I had to remember you from a week ago. I just wanted to touch base with that electrical job. We have an availability just actually popped up for tomorrow. So I could actually come over between 12 and 3. Would you prefer the morning or afternoon? Which one of the two would work out better for yourself? And just calling that customer as a follow-up. Some of them may say, we don't need it anymore. We've already got somebody out. Sorry, they was over there a couple of days ago. But again, the more follow-ups and the more people that we speak to, they may say, yeah, 3 o'clock sounds perfect. If you can come over and we'll run you through the job. There is gold in your follow-up. Obviously, just dealing with the customer off the first inquiry, you're going to get the people that want to buy your products. But again, we're here to increase our conversion rates of the people we're speaking with. So again, support at Service.com.au. If you need some strategy on how we're following up, or the times that we're following up, or the amount that we're following up with these potential opportunities, please drop us an email. One of the account managers will be in touch and they're going to run through that with you as well. Okay. Also, I'd say 1 week after completing the job, always do your follow-up. I think it was Stephen as well that popped in there. Mate, as a new customer, new business, getting out there, getting your referrals, your references, things like that is going to be great. So just structuring a week after you've completed the job, really quick 5-minute call, a voice message, a text with a link through to a review as well. That new business of yours, it could take 30 days and you could be a company that's got 30 reviews on Google. And in the nicest way, you don't look like a new business. You look like an established one that's serviced many people in the area too. Okay. So that was at some pace. I respect that. My voice is going too, and it's only been half an hour. I usually used to do this for hours. So hopefully that was valuable. Some nuggets of gold in there that you can take away. I'd love to know one thing that you're going to implement straight away. If there was one thing that we've gone through today, what do you feel is going to be a good fit for your business that you're going to put in place straight away that will help increase the conversions of your inquiries? Not judge the lead. Agree, Joel. The follow-up, different ways of following up, the response methods and the template. Yeah, it'll save you so much time, Wade, as well. Drop me an email, mate, and obviously I'm working with you moving forward, so I'm more than happy. I'll run through them with you and make sure all that's set up as well. Voice text isn't something thought about. We'll certainly try it. Yeah. It's just breaking the mold, thinking something a little bit different what the customer's used to. And what most people are used to in responses to jobs are prices, are just direct messages, no phone calls. There's that many people that need trades providers at the moment. The industry is absolutely booming. So just making sure that you're taking advantage of these opportunities and yeah, as Joel says, just not taking assumption on the lead or the potential job that comes through, using that as an opportunity to grow your business, find a new client as well. And at the end of the day, if you do speak to them and it's not a job that you offer, provide a good service and they may refer you to somebody else in the area as well. Okay, so again, thank you so much for everybody. Appreciate you taking out your time for 30 minutes as well. As we say, if you want more information, please jump on our website, call the 1300 number, email the support, and we look forward to jumping on again. So enjoy the rest of your evening and thank you again. Appreciate it.